Everyone recognizes the Taj Mahal. It's this incredible, shining tomb that almost looks like it's floating. But behind that perfect white marble is a story that's just, wow. It's got heartbreak, mind-bending architectural secrets, and a single promise that literally changed an empire forever. So let's dive in and see what secrets are hiding in plain sight. Okay, so before we even get to the epic love story, we have to talk about the building itself. Because the Taj Mahal isn't just beautiful, it's a work of pure genius. It's filled with these architectural tricks and secrets that, even 400 years later, have engineers just shaking their heads in awe. So let me ask you something. Take a good look at those four giant towers at the corners, the minarets. You'd think they're standing perfectly straight up and down, right? Well, they're not. They were all built to lean just a tiny bit outwards. The real question is, why on earth would they do that? Well, it turns out the architects were absolute masters of illusion and, frankly, just brilliant planners. That lean in the towers, it's a two-for-one deal. First, it's an optical illusion. From a distance, it actually makes them appear perfectly straight. But here's the real genius move. It's a safety feature. In case of a massive earthquake, the minarets are designed to collapse outwards, away from the main tomb, protecting it from being crushed. And this level of ingenuity is it's everywhere. From the main gate that plays tricks on your eyes, making it look huge from far away, then smaller as you approach, to the very marble itself, which seems to change color with the light, shifting from a soft pink at dawn to a brilliant gold at sunset. All of this mind-blowing architecture, all of this incredible planning, it all came from one singular source: an emperor's profound love for his wife. To really understand the Taj Mahal, you have to understand their story. It all starts back in 1607. A 15-year-old prince named Khurram, who would later become Shah Jahan, or Emperor of the World, meets Mumtaz Mahal and just falls completely in love. He'd go on to rule this massive empire. And yes, he had other wives, but Mumtaz, she was his true love, his closest confidant. Their story, though, ends in tragedy. In 1631, Mumtaz died while giving birth to their 14th child. And for Shah Jahan, this wasn't just sad, it absolutely shattered his world. The emperor's grief was so deep, they say his hair turned white almost overnight. For 2 years, he banned music, celebrations, even perfumes from his court. But before she died, Mumtaz made one final wish. She asked him to build her a tomb, the most beautiful the world had ever seen. And this wasn't just a request. It became the promise that would define the rest of his life. So Shah Jahan decided to pour every bit of his being and the entire fortune of his empire into fulfilling that promise. His personal, crushing grief was about to be transformed into a monument for the ages. And he wasted absolutely no time. Get this. Just 6 months after Mumtaz's death, an army of 20,000 people, a whole city of laborers, artists, and craftsmen, was brought to Agra from every corner of the Mughal Empire, all for one purpose: to build a dream. But right away, they hit a massive roadblock. The spot they chose was right on the bank of the Yamuna River, where the soil was soft, wet, and totally unstable. So the question was, how could you possibly build a colossal, unbelievably heavy marble structure on land that could basically just sink? This is where the sheer brilliance of the Mughal engineers really comes into play. They had to invent a solution to defy nature itself, to build a solid foundation on what was essentially mud. And what they came up with was nothing short of brilliant. Here's how they did it. It was an incredible 3-step process. First, an army of workers dug these deep wells, going all the way down past the soft soil until they hit a dry, stable layer of earth. Then, they filled those wells back up with rocks and rubble, packing them incredibly tight. Finally, massive stone columns were built on top of this whole network, creating a single, rock-solid foundation that could support the immense weight of the marble tomb. Now, a dream this huge doesn't happen overnight. From that first foundation stone to the final spire, the entire project took 22 long years of relentless work. And the logistics were just staggering. Over 1,000 elephants were used just to transport all the materials. That brilliant white marble, the finest in the world, had to be hauled over 400 kilometers all the way from Rajasthan to Agra. Can you even imagine? And the cost of keeping this promise? Well, it's hard to get an exact figure,
But historians estimate that in today's money, the price tag would be over $1 billion. For his love, Shah Jahan spared no expense, a decision that would have monumental consequences.
The finishing work was just as painstaking. They used this amazing technique called pietra dura, which is where they inlay precious and semi-precious stones directly into the marble. Each tiny piece was perfectly cut and sculpted to fit, then fixed with a special glue made from a mix of sugar syrup, lemon juice, and marble powder. So in 1654, after 22 years, it was finally done. The world's most beautiful tomb was complete. Shah Jahan had fulfilled his promise to Mumtaz. But this magnificent obsession came at a devastating cost.
And here is the tragic irony of it all. On one hand, he succeeded. He built an immortal icon of love, and he fulfilled his promise. But on the other hand, the cost was catastrophic. He emptied the royal treasury, pushing the entire empire to the brink of ruin. And this obsession became his undoing. It led his own son to overthrow him, seize the throne, and imprison him in the Agra fort. For the last 8 years of his life, Shah Jahan was a prisoner. His only comfort, his only real facility, was a small window in his cell that looked out across the river. And from there, he could see it, the Taj Mahal, the magnificent tomb he built for his wife, which had now become his beautiful prison view.
And so we're left with this question. Is the Taj Mahal the ultimate monument to love, a promise kept against all odds? Or is it a stunning billion-dollar warning about how even the most beautiful obsession can lead to ruin? You know, maybe the greatest secret of the Taj Mahal is that the story etched into its marble is every bit as complex, beautiful, and heartbreaking as the structure itself.